John Force has got a pretty big matchup when he comes up in the first round of Funny Car. He'll be facing Jim Head. That's a relationship on the track. Goes back some 26 years. But right now, at the starting line, we've been talking about this one, Brandon Bernstein and Bob Vandergriff. Vandergriff doesn't do that well against Brandon. Not well at all. In fact, he's 0-11 racing Brandon. But Brandon's had a very tough season thus far. This could be Bob's day.
Well, you know, for the most part, both of these teams are trying to turn their seasons around. As we mentioned, Brandon does very well in qualifying. Then they've had mechanical issues on race day where they just haven't been able to run the numbers in the first round that they've been able to do in qualifying. Bob's actually been turning his thing around too. He's been running well in qualifying and making some consistent runs. And they've kind of missed a little bit on the calls in the first round, but I think they're getting more data. They're getting more comfortable. Maybe that meeting that Bob had with the rest of the team will help. And we heard they were going to get a little more aggressive. The bad news is they don't have lane choice, so they are in that right-hand lane. We've seen some, a decent amount of tire smoke from that right-hand lane, but we've also seen Terry McMillan go down there and make a nice pass with a 389.
And Brandon, like his dad, has 2 Top Fuel race wins here. Bob, 1 round at Atlanta. We got a pedal fast, and Vandergriff, he was out of it, in it, and then he took the win. Bernstein smoked the tires early. A 460, 279 mile-an-hour pass. Slow speed, but it's still a win, and Bob Vandergriff has it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a good race to about that point there, and you saw the problem with Brandon is he spun the tires before Bob did, even though Bob was coasting towards the finish line, possibly lost a blower belt, and that's why he didn't get back in it. Take another look at it. Good start for both cars. There was a cylinder out for Brandon. That's why it smoked the tires. It grabs the clutch too early when you put a cylinder out and then drives it up into tire smoke, even though you've got less horsepower. And Bob Vandergriff, though, he just basically probably dodged a little bit of a bullet right there. Take a look. There's a cylinder out right there. Gets that thing a little sideways. He's in the throttle a little bit too long before he squared that thing back up and rolled into the throttle.
And here is your ladder with Tony Schumacher and Antron Brown going to face one another. That's a rematch of the final a week ago, and Spencer Massey and Terry McMillan.
Other side, you got Del Worsham having lane choice over Bob Vandergriff, and Larry Dixon having lane choice over Doug Clutta. You have to get around those two if you want an all-Alanabi semifinals. Easy for me to say.